So now we're going to move on to the class. So this class, like I said, or like you guys probably read, is about shadow work. So we're learning how to read cards specifically to help us with our shadow work. And hopefully if you're in this class, you know what a shadow is, but I'll just give you a brief description. So I'm going to give you the fancy description as well as my definition. So can you, did I mess myself up? Oh, there we go, I'm back. All right, so the fancy definition of a shadow is an unconscious aspect of the personality that the conscious does not identify in itself. In short, the shadow is the unknown side. And so I'm gonna give my definition of a shadow. I say that it is hidden programming, schemas, and neuro triggers that make up much of how and why we react to the world, which also affects how we create in our world. So everything that you see around you in the law of attraction, that's also going to affect us. They're only called shadows because they're hidden in the dark, in our psyche, or they're not something that we're easily accept or that society easily accepts. They're not called shadows because there's something bad or dark about us. I don't believe in such thing anyways. They're formed in many different times in our lives. A lot of times it comes from childhood, inner child work, but it can form at any point in time, no matter how old you are, no matter what traumas or upsetting events, or just things that you learn from. You just watch and observe and you're like, I'm gonna make a new rule for myself now, and you don't even know that you're doing it. That can happen at any time, and at most of the time, it's actually created as a way to survive, as a way to defend yourself and protect yourself. So we don't look at shadows like there's something bad here. We just say, we send them out of love and we say, thank you for protecting me. But if it's something that you do want to change, you just let it go in love and say, this is no longer serving me. And then that's the way that we start. We start by giving it, by shining light on it and saying, okay, I see you. But then we also give it love and acceptance and say, oh, okay, I know why you were there. And thank you so much for protecting me up until now. But I'd like to go ahead and let you go now. So that's my definition of a shadow. And then we're going to use these cards to bring up what kind of shadows we might be working with at this time. So cards can be really helpful in assisting in your shadow work, whether you're reading cards for yourself or for your friends or your loved ones, or if you have clients and you want to pull out the cards. We know that we like to use cards to get messages from our divine teams, from our spirit teams, from our guides, from our higher self. Your higher self and your psyche will talk to you through the cards. And so cards are a really good tool in shadow work for that reason, because you're diving in deeper and you're finding those things, kind of like when something comes up in your dreams, right? That's coming from the dark, deep depths of your psyche coming forward and saying, oh, I didn't even know I felt like that. I didn't even remember that memory from my childhood. The cards can help bring those things to the forefront so that you're able to know exactly what is it that I'm working on at this time, and what can I do about it? What is it that the guides are suggesting? So that's what we're going to do here today. Just checking on my schedule here, guys. Sorry. What are we doing next? Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to pick our cards. Did anybody have a hard time picking their cards today?
I do not own a set of cards.
Okay, that's fine. I'm recording this, and then I'm going to give everybody the link. I just decided, I think I'm just going to go ahead and just put it up on YouTube to make it easier for everybody to access. And that way, if you want to go back over this, when you do have cards, you're more than welcome to. But I wanted to try and make pairs if possible. I don't know how many people, because I see some people are also multitasking and they're not even on their video. So we'll see if that's something that we're able to do. If not, we'll just take volunteers and just kind of cross around whoever brought their cards with us. We'll go ahead and just stay right here in the main group, and we'll volunteer to do a couple of readings for each other that way. Okay, so when you want to pick up your card decks for shadow work, let me put this back down so I can give you some examples. Nope, it's not. One moment. I have this whole weird setup now because it's my phone and not my computer, where I'm like leaning my phone on my computer and trying to prop it up. You want to get cards. What I stated to some people that were contacting me and asking me how they were going to pick their cards. Two things that I made sure to tell everybody. And if you could do a combination of this, this is even better, but we're just gonna do one at a time to start off with. So first I said word cards that have to do with emotions or thought processes, abstract ideas. So you want words that have, cards that have words like worry or love or health. And then abstract constructs like money or wealth, abundance. Those are all really good ones. So this deck here that I used in my example earlier this week is the Soul's Journey card. And they have words like loneliness and growth and indecision. That's a good one also. So that's the Soul's Journey. And I'll put a link from Amazon to all of these guys on the YouTube video. So that way, in case you decide you want to go run out and buy any of the decks I used today, I'll make sure that you guys can get to them easier. Another example of word cards is this Astral Realms. Sorry, kind of like not showing through. Here we go. Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. And these ones are like a more pretty set. And you can see it's like rose gold foil and stuff. These ones are fancier, but again, I like them for the word. So you get other information about a chakra here or a crystal, but the words down at the bottom, this one says deep knowing. Then there's one that says momentum and direction. So these one word cards are really good as clarification cards, or you can start and go the other way around. So we're going to talk about that too. Another word card that I like to use is my favorite deck. If anybody's ever booked with me, if I have a very first reading with you, I always include my chakra deck. It's my favorite. I'm very chakra oriented with my work that I do with you guys. So I like to use the chakras to kind of give me an idea of where you're at and what you're working with. And so I use the chakra deck for any kind of reading, whether I'm doing a money reading or a love reading or just a general message or a shadow reading. This is a good way to find out not only what specific thing you're working on. So this one says self-expression. So this is if you have a shadow and you're expressing yourself, you're not speaking up for yourself. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Think that makes sense. You're not setting your boundaries, but you're not only setting your boundaries inside, you're not setting them verbally. Maybe in your mind, you're like, I'm not taking this anymore, but no one knows that. So you need to speak up on that. And on top of that, it's a blue card. So it's telling me that this is throat chakra, which obviously, like I just said, we want to make sure that we're focusing on the actual vocalizing if this was our shadow card. Another one for root chakra, this is home. It just says home. And this is roots, so we're talking about foundations. And so this person's shadow would have to do something to do with their home life or creating the home that they always wanted or not feeling connected to the home. Maybe they moved to an apartment and they're just like, the vibe in here is just not me. And so we would use further clarification cards, or we would, pull more cards, and we'll talk about pulling extra cards to get that deeper meaning. But this would keep us on the track. It would tell us what exactly are we looking at in particular for this person's shadow. So you want to get some word cards like those examples that I just gave you. Then, so that's why I said to have at least 2 decks for this. The second one you want to try to have is something that has some kind of direction, some kind of instruction that it's telling you to do. Let's see here. So if you have some that's telling you, like this one, look, see, communication is key. I feel like this was meant for somebody in this group because we just got self-expression as an example. And then the first example that I pulled out for the Moonology cards, let me show you those, sorry, Moonology Oracle cards. The Moonology Oracle cards, the first one that I pick up as an example is communication is key. So this is the guide telling this person, giving them the instruction that they're not going to get away with setting a boundary that they can't vocalize. They're going to have to get that out. They're going to have to tell people, okay, You may not have known. I can't just expect you to read my mind. I now have this as a boundary. Can you please honor my boundaries? Because communication is going to get that person further in their work. Then they'll be able to give people the option, the chance to show them that their boundaries are actually working or that they can even be honored. Until then, you just might be thinking, see, this person's still not honoring my boundary, but you might not be communicating with them and telling them, you know, what your actual boundary is. Here's another one that says, you are good enough. So if you picked a shadow card or a word card from the other deck, let's say that the card was relationships, and then you pull the you are good enough card. That mixture together can tell you that this person's shadow that has to do with their relationships. And what is the shadow that they're working on that's affecting their relationships? They don't think they're good enough. You are good enough card is letting you know further information about that. So see why I like to mix the two different types of cards. Let's pull a different deck so you can see an example of some more instruction sentence cards. The universe has your back. It's another one I like. These ones are all mostly positive cards, like positive affirmations. Really good to like remind yourself of like, oh yeah, I am part of the universe, or I am a beloved speck of stardust made by the creator, and I do have my own abilities, and I need to remind myself of that. But positive things can still be part of our shadows, right? Because we're not learning how to incorporate that. We're not learning how to use those positive ideas and shine them on the darker parts of ourselves that are like still not believing that. So this is kind of, we're going to reveal to you where in your life you're still holding on to some things that are not maybe as positive as you'd like them to be. So this one says, joy is the ultimate creator. So this could be an example of saying that this person that you're pulling cards for, they're not tapping into their joy. They want to create something. They want it to happen really, really bad. They just got this, you know, this angsty energy in them that they know they're meant to create it, but they're creating it from a place that's not joy. They're creating it from a place of like, oh, I have to do it. I'm obligated, or a place of lack. Why can't it happen? Why can't it happen now? Why? I just need it to work. I need it. Desperation. That's another energy that's not joy. And this card would tell you that this person is, they need to tap more into their joy. This is giving them a direction. If you want what you're looking at to create to happen, if you do want it to come forth, you can have it, but you have to do it from a place of joy. And let's pick a different one. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. I don't know if that's picking up. There we go. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. So this is a card that might be somebody saying that, oh, it's never going to happen for me. Their shadows are talking to them in their mind. Their subconscious is just telling them there's too much in the way. There's too many obstacles that are happening. Maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe it's the guides telling me this isn't the right time. Maybe I need to turn around and go the other way or come up with a new idea. This is telling you that obstacles are detours in the right direction. Obstacles are happening because they're trying to lead you towards the thing that you do want. Sometimes we have to take those detours to know. What was the example that I gave yesterday? You might be trying to go from point A to point B, and then it starts raining and hailing on you before you even step foot out of your door. Well, that might have been something to tell you that you weren't prepared. You were just going to step out without thinking about what you might need for the journey, what you might need to pack or think about, or open up your computer and look at the weather. It's just a reminder. It's not saying you can't go to point B. It's just saying slow down and prepare yourself so that when you get out there, you'll have everything that you need in case, what if it would have rained when you were already out there and you didn't have your umbrella with you, for example. Okay, so that was how to pick cards as far as looking at the decks, what kind of things that you want to look at when you want to start doing shadow work readings. Pick 2 decks if possible, one that has to do with words and one that has to do with some type of instruction or sentences, and that way that you can combine and make a good reading together. And then of course, I'm also going to say, for more for people who are more woo-woo like me, you also can pick your cards by getting a good feel for what cards are meant to work for you. So when I go into stores or when I'm looking online, I take a couple of look at them, or I say, I have all these decks. If you saw the picture I put together, and I put all my decks out and I say, okay, I'm going to do a shadow work reading for myself, or I'm going to do a shadow work reading for A, B, or C person. What cards would like to come with me today? What cards want to come? And then you just sit with that feeling for a little while. You're very still. You take a couple of deep breaths. You don't push it or force it. And the way that, depending on how you receive information, you might tap in from a feeling. You might tap in from a sight, from a vision. You might see in your head like, oh, Soul's Journey deck, or you see a deck in your head and you're like, that's the one that wanted. Or you might hear it. It might be a whisper. You might hear like, I'm hearing chakras. Maybe I need to use my chakra deck today. So on and so forth. Let yourself go into that, or go into a meditation and go into a meditative state. Ask the question, I want to do a shadow reading for myself today. I'm going to sit, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to meditate until I feel what cards want to give. And believe yourself. That's how you train your intuition. Card reading has a lot to do with intuition. You want to make sure that you believe yourself and trust yourself. If you're reading for someone else and you pull a card that you're like, oh, this seems a little bit personal, pride. Oh, I don't know if I want to tell this person that their pride is one of their shadows that they're working with right now. Believe yourself and have confidence. Hey, this may not resonate with you, but this is what I'm getting. And the more you speak up with confidence on your intuition, I surrender to a power greater than me. Pride and I surrender to a power greater than me. That reading would tell me that this person's letting their pride get in the way and they need to surrender that pride to something else. Something else, the divine timing of things, their higher selves, the divine intervention of things. Their pride is telling them, their ego is telling them that they can do it all by themselves, but this guide is telling them that they need to surrender that pride so that they can get what they actually are really wanting. That pride is their shadow right now that they don't even know is tripping them up. They don't even realize it's giving them a hard time. Okay. So now, do we have any questions so far?
I do.
Yes.
So you say one with direction and one with words.
Yes.
Is there a difference? Do they need to be tarot or oracle, one of each?
So this particular class is on oracle card readings, because I read oracle readings. You can absolutely do a good shadow reading with tarot cards if you're good at tarot. If you know tarot, or if you want to start learning tarot can absolutely read you your shadows. I have my sister. She does great tarot readings and she's wonderful at it. I don't know why my brain won't retain all of the extra descriptions and rules for tarot. It's very intricate. There's a lot of cards. But they absolutely, to me, tarot is wonderful for reading your shadows, for telling you about like the cups and like when you're too much in your emotions, when you're too much in your head, when you're being tripped up, because like the death card, a lot of people just think that just means death, but it means endings and new beginnings. So a death card coming up in your shadow reading could mean that your shadow right now that's affecting you is the fear of something new starting, a new chapter, not wanting to let it go, not wanting to put it to rest and move on to the new. So you absolutely can use tarot decks for shadow readings, but I use oracle decks because that's what I've always used, and I've been reading since I don't know. I started reading in high school, and I just never picked up tarot. I don't know why.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Nope. All right. Let's see here. My itinerary accidentally closed on me. So we're going to go, we're going to give me a second so I can pull it back up. Okay. So who did bring decks with them that are ready to practice? So we got 1, 2 hands over here.
I have cards.
Okay. We got, who just said that? I don't know who just said that. I know Jess has a hand up.
Yep, I have one oracle card and then the other one's tarot.
Okay. All right, cool. And Jamie has a hand up. Cool. All right. So we got 1, 2, and then 3, 4. What I'm seeing here, right? Yep, and then it looks like we lost a person. All right, right. Okay. All right. Well, for now, I'm just going to go ahead and we kind of already looked at like the ways that I put the cards together for the reading, the tutorial that I was going to do. We kind of did a couple examples, but I'm going to go through that anyways. Well, we only did like just to pull the one card. What we're going to do today is we're going to do just your run of the mill. It's very, very popular past, present, future pull. So we're just doing the 3 decks. We're going to shuffle our cards. We're going to put them into 3 piles when we cut them. We're going to cut them into 3 decks. We're going to pull them over. The first one is going to be shadows that you just recently released in the recent past that you're now able to benefit from because you're now past that. The middle card is going to be the present card. What shadows are coming up for you right now? What themes are coming up for you? What kind of things are showing themselves up? And they're tripping you up in some kind of way, or there's something that you need to dive deeper into. The future card, we're going to do this twice. So the first one, we're just going to say what shadows are we working on in the future, period. We're just going to leave it across the board. Shadow, 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 past, present, future. The second time around, we're going to do shadow, past, shadow, present, but then we're going to see what kind of thing what's the benefit in the future. So this time we're going to pull the third card on our future is going to be, if you do this work, what is that going to lead for you? What pathways are going to be opening for you? All right. And we can just all pull that for ourselves to start with. And then I'm going to pair us up and you can pull for someone else. Just to practice. Let me put that back in place. We're good. All right, we're good. All righty. So, it's completely up to you which ones you're going to start with. You can start with your your instruction cards and then get clarification with your word cards. That's how I prefer to do it a lot of times. Or you can just start with your word cards and then say, what do I need to do? And we're going to clarify. So we're going to start with one deck. We're going to make the 3 piles. We're going to turn those over. And then we're going to come back with the second deck and we're going to clarify using that second deck. All right. So I'm going to start with the Soul's Journey again with my word cards. And I'm going to make 3 decks or 3 piles after I shuffle. That's what they told me to do, so that's what I'm going to start with. Another thing besides just having confidence in your readings that you can do, I do a lot. You'll hear me sometimes even whisper while I'm talking. While I'm reading for someone, I stop and I thank them in advance, especially when you feel like it's a harder reading and you're not sure like what you're going to get, if this person is going to be open to your reading, or if it's for yourself, if you're like, I'm not sure if I'm making this all up, or if I'm just, or if I'm getting real good readings. As I'm shuffling and I'm putting my energy into those cards, I'm saying, I'm going to pull a shadow card for past, present, and future. Thank you in advance. I need and just repeat it again. I need a reading for my past, present, and future for shadows at this time. Thank you so much in advance. And that way you're just talking to your guides and you're thanking them for the messages they're going to be sending to you. That helps to build trust with yourself and your guides and your intuition as well. So remember, as of right now, we're just pulling for ourselves. 3 decks. So for my past card, I got growth. For the card I'm working on right now, which is so very true, and a couple people who know me know what I'm working on right now, it says health. I'm working on my health right now. That's a big one for me. And my future shadow card, again, this is not yet what we're going to be looking forward to. This is another shadow. I'm going to be shifting and working on change. And that's a big one for me. I'm really bad with change. I do have a lot. I have a change shadow. I definitely do. I like stuff to go the same way. And if you're going to switch it up on me, tell me. Like, I need as much information as possible. Even if it doesn't go the way you say it's going to go. Siobhan, we're going to get there at this time, and then we're going to do this, this, and this. Sorry that we changed the plan on you. Just let me know so I don't freak out at the last minute. That's totally me. So that's my guys. They know me really well. And then let's see what cards are calling to me for my clarification cards. Now the clarification, what to do. Some people do this different ways. Some people just go like this and see how they start to like kind of fall out. As soon as one or two falls out of your hand and falls down on the table, then that would be the card that you're like, okay, this is the card that was meant specifically for the first card. I'm just going to pull clarification for each one separately. So I'm looking at growth right now. What was the clarification I needed on that past shadow that I was just working on as far as growth? What about growth do I need to know? So I can do like this until they fall out, or I can shuffle the deck and make 3 piles right in front of the cards that I just pulled. So 1, 2, and 3. And then that way you would know for sure what cards you're pulling. Or you can just shuffle it and hold the whole deck like this and then just pull one over. The first card you pull from the top is for your first one. The second one is for your second deck. And then the third one is for your third deck. And you just make it easy for yourself. So whichever one of those techniques feels comfortable for you for clarifying, those are my favorites for clarifying. So right now I'm just going to hold the deck and I'm just going to pull from the top. And I don't know how many people are like into metaphysics and like nerdy like me, but I'm like a total nerd. So metaphysics, and quantum physics and things like that. The power of the observer. So the power of the observer says that when you're looking at something, you're affecting the outcome. Because you are the observer, things change, waves move, and things act a certain way because you're observing them. So sometimes I'll say that in my head as I'm flipping my cards over. The power of the observer. I don't have to worry about, did I shuffle it enough? Did I put it, did I evenly separate them exactly how they're supposed to be? Did I line everything up the way it was? Oh, but I watched this one YouTube video that says I have to do it exactly like this. I touch the card this way and flip it this way. If you don't worry too much about that and you just say power of the observer, it's going to come out exactly the way it needs to come out because you're the one observing it. That's a little trick that I use. Totally. If that doesn't resonate with you, that's totally fine as well. All right. So this time for my clarification instruction cards, I used this deck here, which is Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. So again, I will put a link for those if you like those. So for my growth card, I received the clarification of Medicine Mother. It says, honor your inner knowing. So this again is a shadow I just in my recent past worked on. I worked on a growth shadow by honoring my inner knowing. So again, like intuition, things that we're talking about, trusting your intuition, having that confidence that you need to have to say, okay, I get a feeling this isn't right, or I get a feeling I'm supposed to be here, and you actually honor that. So this honor my inner knowing is telling me that that's what I worked on recently. That was the shadow that I just put away, or at least got put in some good work into honoring that inner knowing, which was something I needed in order to grow. Right now I'm working on health, and my clarification card for health is a shapeshifter card, and it says transform and unveil your gifts. So this is telling me that while I'm working on my health, I need to tap into and unveil the gifts that I have for my own healing, for healing my own body, for my own physical health, which we all do. But that's amazing, right? That's a very powerful message. And in my future, what I'm going to be from that, as I keep going in my health and tapping into my gifts for health, as I keep working on that, I'm going to then shift into working on my change shadow. And my change shadow clarification card is the shaman card, which is awesome. Maybe I'll be taking some more shamanic some more shamanic training classes or something. So I got the shaman card. But it says trust in higher forces. So again, kind of like what I was saying before, as far as like letting go of your own, like holding on to the control. That's my change shadow, is trying to have control, trying to know what's going to happen all the time. And this is saying, no, just trust the divine process. Just trust in the higher forces. They got you. Your guides got you. That's something I'm going to be working on, letting go of that control and letting the divine lead me where it is that wherever I'm supposed to go spontaneously, even if it makes me freak out. All right, so that was my reading. Does anyone want to share their reading for themselves? Raise a hand so I can see you if you like, or take yourself off mute.
I will. Okay, so the first deck that I use is Sacred Geometry Oracles.
Nice.
And for my past, I pulled the Cosmic Flower, which is, let's see. Says the frequency of the cosmic flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. So I guess, I think what that's saying to me is like, remember. The one I got for present is Emergence, and it says the frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and match and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from this place, which is so accurate because I'm exploring the path I'm going to take with my career right now. So it's very fitting. And then for future, I got Gaia, which says the frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. And I was just talking about my chart today, and my North Node is in Pisces, which is like about experiencing, oneness. And
Right.
So it would make sense that my future, shadow would be to learn how to not feel like disconnected from others and how to feel connected to them.
Yes.
So, am I processing that right?
I think so. I love it. I love how it kind of tells like a story of like, okay, set your foundation, go home and remember and set that foundation. Then go into yourself and feel that and start your business to spread outward, then spread really far outward and touch your roots to everyone and feel connected in all of that. So I like how it like started and it went up and like a tree, like it went to the deep roots under and then it went like out. So wow. I love that. I love that reading. That was a great reading. Wow. Did you have clarification cards? I did. And I just want to say that your analogy is so fitting because today I repotted my plants. Oh, and on one of the plants, the roots were completely like broken. And so I was like, wow, I really had to spend some time with it today. So what you're saying about like really going in and making sure the roots are intact, like fitting. Yeah, awesome. The clarification cards, I used the Wild Unknown Archetype Guidebook. And so the first one I got is the Judge. And it's basically just talking about when it's out of alignment, the judge is out of alignment, they're too critical of themselves and others, which is definitely something that I've been working through. The next one, let me find it, is the Creator. Ooh, perfect. Right? Which goes back to emergence. Yeah, emergence and creator, that's like too perfect. I know, right? Oops. That's me going everywhere. 1 second. Oh, you're fine. These cards don't have numbers on them, so I literally just have to. I love those kind of decks, right? They just make you shop around everywhere. go on a wild goose chase for the answers.
Literally.
Sounds like my guides.
Sounds like mine too. Okay, here we go. The creator. The creator is not intimidated by darkness or lack. They know that from the void, creation inevitably emerges. So it's just reminding me of like from nothing comes everything, and like not to be afraid of exploring things and being like a child again, because that is where Gaia, this interconnectedness, will come. And the siren, which is the last card that I pulled. And let's see what the siren is talking about. Are you familiar with the siren?
Mm-hmm. Similar. I mean, well, like lots in folklore, not in that card deck.
Yeah. The siren calls and the world spins. What we thought we wanted pales in comparison to the sweet allure of her song. We find ourselves lost in a spell of desire and longing, perhaps even lust. Whether the thing calling us is ultimately good or bad, somewhat irrelevant. It's the journey that matters.
I love that. See? So that's, again, like you said, getting yourself out of that isolation. It's being called to. It's something that you actually yearn for and desire to not feel alone. And so you're going to be moving into that, being called to the universe to become one with everybody. I love it. I love that a lot. That was a great reading. Thank you so much for sharing.
Of course. Thanks for teaching.
You're welcome. Okay. So now we're going to pair up, folks. So we're going to take a couple of volunteers and I'm going to pair you up with someone. I'm not going to do breakout rooms as we don't have that many people and not everybody is has their cards. So I'm going to read for Melissa. Since she doesn't have her cards, I'll just go ahead and just do a reading for you. And Jess, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Egypt, you're still on mute, right? So you're just observing. Thumbs up, hands up, or whatever. Thumbs up, maybe. Okay, yeah, okay.
He's in his cards too, so I saw his card.
Yeah, I see just the thumbs up. So we're just observing. Jamie, are you prepared to read for someone? Or just observing?
I can. I have cards. I don't necessarily. I only have one deck.
That's okay. That's okay. Whatever you have, we'll just give a quick reading for our partner, and then just a quick message to them. So all right. So Jess and Emily, are you okay to read for someone?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So, Jess and Emily can give each other a message, and Jamie and Liz can give each other a message, and I will give a message to Melissa. There? Cool. All right. So I'll give you guys time to go ahead and pick your decks and shuffle your cards and pull them, and then we will share what we have for each other and give each other some quick messages.
Am I doing this the way that you said with the three cards?
Yeah. Oh, yes. This time, though, reminder to everybody, this time, the future card, you're going to tell them what they're looking forward to. So this time we're pulling a past shadow card, a present shadow card, but the future is going to be, what can you look forward to when you are done with this work, so that you end it on a positive note. All right, we are on time. Super excited. You guys ready? Looks like everyone's ready. All right, let me pick. All right. Let's see. Close my eyes. All right, Jamie.
Yeah.
You ready to read for Jess?
Yeah.
If you're not ready, I can give you more time.
No, I mean, the cards are there.
Okay. Yeah, just do your best you can. Remember, we're just doing this in confidence. We can always say, hey, if this doesn't resonate with you, then you could totally basura, throw it in the trash if you don't like it. But we're just going to tell them what our cards and our guides and our intuition tells us.
I wanted to see if I could. Oh, wait, here it is.
Turn it around to show them.
Yeah. All right. So first card is the Hunter. And in the book, there's three different, I'm using the Mystical Shaman Oracle.
Yeah.
So in the book, there's three different breakdowns: the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. And I typically read from the invitation. So for the pass, it says, rely on your own skills to traverse the thick forest you are in to reach your destination. It also said you need to follow the tracks left by spirit to claim your bounty, which is already prepared and being offered to you. Do not follow the maps drawn by others, as they will not lead you true. Instead, become the map maker, find your internal compass, and use all your senses, including your common sense. And then the next one is completion. And that one is, so presently you have just finished a cycle and there's no more growth or benefit from hanging on to the old. In regard to relationships, it is time to honor what has been and find a new form for the future. In your ventures, it is time to reap your harvest. Completion is a time for celebration. It is the end of summer when the fruit is ripe. And then what you're looking forward to is the Crow. And that one says, when you speak the truth and practice truth, eventually everything you say becomes true. Your power to co-create with the truth is the universal law. Correct what is untrue in your life without judgment. Let the truth set you free.
Nice. You got that, Jess?
Yes, thank you.
That was an awesome message, and that's awesome to look forward to. Thank you, Jamie. All right. Okie dokie. Let's see here. Now we're gonna pick.
Liz says she has to leave.
Okay. Oh, Liz.
In a few minutes.
Okay, go ahead and read yours then.
Okay. So for past, I got third eye chakra, and it says the frequency of the third eye chakra is the indigo flower of life, and it supports our intuition of inner knowing, our imagination, and our psychic powers. For a present, I got integration. The frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing what we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. And then for what you get to look forward to, I got dynamic. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Did you get that, Emily? Uh-oh. Did we lose Emily? Well, she'll see it on the recording.
Reading for. Yeah, I got it.
You got it? I think your connection might be a little spotty. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you go, Liz. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And if we're able to get Emily on the recording, we'll send you your message from Emily. If not, I'll have her send it to me and I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Jess, you want to read yours?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
1 second. Oops. How do I flip it over?
There's like a camera icon like in the corner somewhere. And it has
There
a
it is. Thank you.
There you go.
All right, so my first card was the Ice Queen. That's this card here. And with the Ice Queen, as a challenger, the Ice Queen comes to you and she asks you to look into the illusion of ownership. Do you believe in you truly own anything in the world? For example, do any of us really own land? Do we own ideas? Or is it that we simply laid claim to something we believe we're entitled to? Even inspiration is borrowed from the spirit and shared by all the field of the divine.
Awesome.
Everything is impermanent. Once you recognize that, everything is seen as a living miracle, and that is really is. You won't be frozen into self-induced limitations. It's time to let go of ownership in general and be grateful for and enjoy what you fit with. So that's the first one.
Okay.
The second one is cosmos.
You got a little breaking up.
Cosmos. That's this one here. And so
Jess? Oh, goodness.
Oh no, I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Okay. All
I can hear you
right,
now.
sorry.
I can hear you now.
Okay. The Cosmos card is the second. The Cosmos appears also as an ally. It also represents a principle of infinity, of energetic exchange and consciousness influence. This sign is for you to open up to the well of creativity deep within you and be mindful of your thoughts and actions. Both are influencing your outer world. Most important, keep taking action at your goals as the cosmos responds perfectly to manifest. Now, since I am in a bad spot, I'm going to go ahead and read the last one. The last one is the word Lord. The word Lord. As a challenger, the word Lord, give me 1 second, is here about how you speak about yourself. Do you say self-decrypting words? Do you minimize yourself? Well, the time is to change those unconscious statements now. It's not difficult to change things, as we're always given a choice to make new decisions. Did you guys get it?
Yes, yes. So she can look forward to in the future that she'll have better words to say about herself.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I got that right. right. Thank you so much.
No problem, and I can always send it to her too if you guys
Okay.
miss some of
Yeah.
it.
If you send it to, yeah, the group text is still up for the event. If you want to type it in there or send the pictures in there, you guys are more than welcome to update it on the event, on the Facebook event, or if you want to send it to me, I can forward it to the person that you were matched up with. Okie dokie. Emily, are you available now?
Yes, sorry. I do have things going on, but
That's okay.
I can do this.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see, the first card I pulled, it's from the Gaia deck. I don't have the front cover right in front of me.
That's
But
okay.
it's from the Gaia deck. And the first card is Winter's End. It says regeneration, rebirth, and positive outcome. This card signifies a rebirth, regeneration, and new growth. You may not know it, but the cycle has already begun. A cold gray period of your life is coming to an end. A new season begins. As with the tree lady featured on this card, the first signs of spring are just starting to show. The first shoots have sprouted, and soon the new buds will be in full bloom as they bathe in the light of the sun. Many beautiful things are in store for you. New opportunities present themselves, sometimes quite unexpectedly. When they do, embrace them. Do not hesitate, for this is your time to shine. This is a lucky and prosperous period for you. Many things that were previously not possible now are. Doors that were previously closed are now open. This card also signifies travel and a positive outcome.
Awesome.
And then the second card, the present card, who am I reading for?
Liz, she's gone, but she'll see it later.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Sorry, I got confused. So the present card I got is intuitive communication, silent whispers of the heart. And it says, this card confirms that you have a natural psychic ability that can be further developed and expanded. But in order to develop this innate gift, you must pay greater attention to your intuition. This can come in many forms. For example, it can be a gut feeling, an unusual or unexpected thought, or a subtle and silent whisper that seems to flow from your heart. Close your eyes and be aware of all you feel around you. The universe is alive. The earth and nature are living energies. Whether you know it or not, there is an aspect of you that is in constant communication with all of creation. You are therefore also in constant communication with everyone and everything. All you need to expand this wonderful ability is within you. Start to listen to your inner voice and learn to trust your vibes and natural instincts.
Awesome. Awesome.
And then the future card, what you're going to be healing, I thought this was pretty cool. It says night wind. And the 3 words below it is facing fear, subconscious release, and healing. I mean, who doesn't want that? So, yeah. Let's see here. The night wind. What it says here is a little bit different than what I felt it meant from there. So, I guess take it for what your intuition says. This card relates to the disturbed sleep patterns, vivid dreams, or nightmares that you have experiencing. Something is troubling you, yet you are not openly acknowledging this either to yourself or others. This unresolved issue has created fear and anxiety, which you have yet to resolve. Because of this, your subconscious mind is processing the issue as you sleep. The fear resurfacing in your dreams time and time again in various forms and guises. This is your subconscious's mind way of dealing with the issue and forcing you to face your fear. On some level, this is helpful. However, the only way this issue can be resolved is by consciously facing your fear. First, truly acknowledge your fear, express it in detail by writing it down, then share it by talking about it with someone you trust. This simple process takes some courage, but it is well worth it. Acknowledging and expressing your fear is the first major step towards healing this issue. You will find that all will be resolved soon.
Oh, awesome.
Thank
you so much. That was beautiful. Yeah, so it's a little bit difficult when, like you just said, you got one feeling when you pull the card, and then when you go to read it in the book, it feels like, well, that's not what it felt like it was at all. So that's the reason why I said, like, the mixture of the two types of cards that I'm talking about today, when you can, if you're able to get the decks, like the kind of decks that I'm talking about, that way you're just able to get your reading directly from the cards that you're looking at without having to go and read the book, so that you can start, again, like working with your intuition. If that card felt like, I'm getting another feeling from it, you might want to go with this is what it means to me. So the visions I'm seeing, these are the feelings I'm getting out of that card. And then if you have the card with the words on them, or with the instructions directly on it, then you just know right away. And then I don't know who's going to be around at the end here, but again, like I said, everyone's going to get this message, but I'm actually creating my own shadow work oracle deck. And everybody who signed up for the class, whether you made it or not, if you just signed up for the class, you're going to get a discount on the pre-sale of that. And the oracle deck that I'm creating will have the words. They have it directly on there. Then you know exactly what shadow you're working on, and you know exactly what the words are that you're working with. So I'll talk about that, but I don't want to hold up anybody past our time, because we're about to be out of time here. It's supposed to be ending at 1:15. So let me read from Melissa. Okay. So Melissa, I used my chakra deck cards, as I said before, like I always do if this is the first time that I'm reading for you. And like we said, we did a past, shadow, recent past that you were working on, that you're now finally getting over, or you're coming out of the clouds for that one. The present card is going to tell you, what are you working on right now? And the future card is going to tell you, what is it that you can look forward to if you keep along the path and you do the work that you need to do, that shadow work that we're talking about today. So the family card was your recent past card that I just got for you. So again, this is in root chakra. These are foundations. These are like, your basic needs kind of thing. This is the card of belonging, community, culture, and tribe. So some kind of way, so you have nest here. Again, we also look at the pictures when we're using our intuition for the cards. So the picture here is a nest and two eggs all snug together in this nest. They belong. They have a family. They have a nest that's their beginning stages that they have. This says here that your hard work is paying off. So the clarification for that is that you were working on something that had to do with family. Something just recently happened that you were working on that had to do with your family life, your home life, your community, something along that line, tribe, the people nearest to you, that could be even your coworkers, the people that you're with all the time. And you worked hard on it and you actually succeeded, whatever it was that you did. The guides want you to know that your hard work is actually paying off. So that's like a perfect message for a past shadow to tell you that, hey, you did the work and the work it's going beautifully. So keep it up. The thing that you're working in your life right now is self-esteem. This is a solar plexus card, and solar plexus is the I am. This is the everything that you see yourself as your image, all the titles you have, daughter, wife, mother, teacher, whatever the titles you have. That's what the yellow symbolizes. But this card in particular is self-esteem. So right now, we're working on confidence, self-love, self-worth, and pride. And normally when I do a reading, if the card's upside down, I do read inverted cards, and I will tell you that this is something that there's a struggle with that. There's a resistance. There's some type of issue in your life. But since we're doing shadow readings, we're actually telling you that this is a resistance or some type of a shadow that you're not aware of that's affecting an issue in your life. So for shadow readings, I don't necessarily read inverted cards that way. So self-esteem is something that's going to come up in your life right now. You'll see it in different themes. It could be whether or not a boss comes to you and they're asking you to do something that you want to stand up for yourself. It could be your children. It could be your relationships, your romantic relationships or friendships. Some kind of way you're going to see that self-esteem is coming. It could be just even you looking online and social media, and somebody looks more sparkly and more shiny than you, and you're comparing yourself, and it's affecting your self-esteem. But you're going to find that there's things having to do with your self-esteem coming up. And the clarification card I got for that is you and your loved ones are safe. So this is telling me that your self-esteem is affected in a way that makes you feel like you're not safe. There's not a place for you in the world, or that you're not good enough to protect yourself or protect your loved ones, that you're not the right guy for the job kind of thing, the right woman for the job kind of thing. This is telling you that you are safe, you're protected, your loved ones are protected, it's okay to come out of that shell. It's okay to work on your self-esteem. It's okay to let yourself bloom and show who you really are, your true self. If you do that, your future card, and it's basically what I kind of got earlier when I said I felt like this was talking to someone. We got honesty. So this is another throat chakra card. So this is blue. So again, we're talking about our vocalizing, our self-expression in our throat chakra. This is honesty. So if you work on these things, especially your self-esteem that you're working on right now, you can look forward to having authenticity in your life, to being transparent, to being able to be yourself. And that allows other people to be themselves too. That opens that up, that everyone's like, well, this new person in my life is so honest. It's refreshing. It makes me want to be my honest self too. This is the card of truth, transparency, sincerity, and communication. So you're going to be able to look forward to communication, better communication. And we got the same card we got earlier today. Communication is key. So again, in the future, what you can look forward to is better communication all throughout your life, because you're going to have the self-esteem and the self-assurance to speak up, to be the person that you need to be. And that's going to open those doors for great communication in your life. So that was your reading. I hope that resonated with you.
Very much.
Did it? Awesome.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so we're going to wrap up here though, but is there any questions before we start closing up here? Raise a hand. No?
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so like I said, I just wanted to just take a couple of minutes just to tell you again about my Oracle deck that I'm creating. It's going to go on pre-sale starting today. So today's the first day that I'm going to make it available. For people who didn't sign up for the class, it's going to be a $44 pre-sale price. And for everyone who signed up for the class, you'll get that for $39 as a pre-sale price if you buy it within the next 3 days. So you get a 3-day window from today of this class to purchase the Oracle deck for $39. And then you'll also get a free gift from me while you're waiting for those cards to be produced. The actual official day they'll be released is January 22nd. So that's 1/22/22. I like that number because it makes 144. And so then after December 21st, so for you guys, 39, everyone else 44. After December 21st, it'll go up to 55. And then when it's finally released, it'll be at the much higher release price. So yeah, I just wanted to give that to you guys as a gift for coming to my first class. Thank you so much for the ideas, Wise Warriors and my Wise Warrior group. Oh, so my Oracle deck is also called the Wise Warrior Shadow Oracle deck. And I wanted you guys to, I guess that's the alarm telling us that we're over time. I just wanted to tell you guys that it was called that, and I'll link all of that and put all of that in our Facebook event. So you guys will have access to the link. If you want to buy that, it will be through an invoice so that you guys can get your extra discount on that. So I'll send you an invoice if you want to. Okay, and then that's it. So thank you again so much. Just gonna go ahead and just quickly up, down, all around. Thank you so much for being here with us on this holy ground. I'm now closing Sacred Medicine Space. We're releasing our roots. Everybody gets their roots back to them. Everyone back to their normal selves. We're detaching from this circle. Thank you so much again for coming. And we thank the guides and the spirits for being here with us and teaching us anything, giving us these great messages. Amen, Ashe, Aho.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to end now.
Shamanic.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.